Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on unlocking SAP potential on Google Cloud with Sify. I am Vaishnavi Desai, Assistant Editor for Emerging Technologies at Economic Times, and your host for this session. We are delighted to have you join us for what promises to be an insightful discussion on navigating the complexities of SAP upgrades and migration in collaboration with two industry leaders, Sify and Google Cloud. Before we dive into the key discussion points, let us take a moment to welcome our esteemed panelists and set the stage for today's conversation. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished panelists from Sify Technologies. We are honored to have Anitosh Haldar, SVP and Business Head for Cloud and Managed Services. He will shed light on how Sify's SAP expertise on Google Cloud can elevate the customer experience. And representing Google Cloud, we have Shivam Srivastav, SAP Sales Specialist for Google Cloud. He will provide insights into the cutting-edge solutions Google Cloud offers for SAP migration and optimization. Today, we gather to address a critical aspect of enterprise transformation, the upgrade to SAP on Google Cloud. This transition is anything but simple. It requires strategic vision, meticulous planning, and the right partners to guide organizations through the process. The landscape of business processes is evolving rapidly, as you all know, and today's discussion is centered around helping enterprises unlock the full potential of SAP on Google Cloud. As businesses try to reevaluate their objectives and project priorities, the need for a robust strategy becomes paramount. Sify Technologies, in collaboration with Google Cloud, brings forth its expertise in SAP to offer comprehensive solutions, which covers everything from upgrade and optimization to migration, implementation, and managed services. Throughout the discussion today, please note, we will explore key themes: upgrade strategy, vision for cloud migration, data insights acceleration, real-time insights, and why Sify. We encourage you to actively participate by submitting your questions in the chat. There will be poll questions as well, and it will be in the format of a form. Keep an eye on that, as the winner will receive an Amazon voucher. You will see a QR code being displayed on the screen. Please copy the QR code or the link in the chat, which will be provided by my team. We will look forward to your insights on that. Without further ado, let's begin. From upgrade strategies to real-time insights to finding the right partner, everyone worries about the same. We got you covered, and I will leave the floor to Anitosh and Shivam to address the audience on the same. Anitosh, Shivam, the floor is yours. Please take ahead.
Thank you so much, Vaishnavi, and hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be part of this discussion. And while we will give us the insights, there will be a time where we will be also interacting. And so be open and in asking any questions or any inputs you want to share, so that we really make this particular session more, interactive and more intuitive towards the future that we want to build together. Shivam?
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I feel really happy to be along with Anitosh and Sify team to present why customers should look at Google Cloud for their SAP decisions.
Thank you. So great. I think it's time to get started. While the cloud is becoming green in the screen that you see, and that's where the partnership lies with Google. It is a green initiative which we started together long back through our data center journey and their launch in the country. And the agenda, we kept it very simple, where we will speak about a bit about Sify. What is the alignment Sify has with Google and Google along with us? What are the expertise we are bringing on the ERP transformation, which is obviously SAP-led in most of the discussions. Then Shivam will take over and talk about Google's expertise specifically as a platform and a cloud service provider on SAP. We will be then ending it up with a quick case study, and then it will be open for a nice discussion. So that's how we will go the flow. So in the starting quickly, as we all know, Sify from 1995 as the first private ISP. From there, it became 2000, the first commercial data center player. provider. In 2003, we were the first managed SOC provider. 2007, a lot of people doesn't know we were the first cloud provider in India when hyperscalers was not there. And 2011, hence, we brought the first hyperscaler to India along with the data center. And that's where it became very imperative for us that being one of the, I will say, pioneers who started the internet services, the net telecom player, then gradually into the co-location and hosting, and who became partners to the cloud service provider, we moved into the motion of digital. And when we say digital, it's a different discussion. We say digital in a different way. We say digital in an enabling way. We say digital in creating a foundation. And that's what we are trying to say in our Sify 4.0, where we are talking digital first and enabling our partners and clients both the side to transform it and then take those digital initiatives to make it happen. And that's what I'm going to cover in the next slide, where there's an universe, right, which start with an applications on the left, which is about to be, it has to be intelligent, and it can be any applications, core applications that you built on any of the platforms. Then the need is by industry. It is not about taking cloud, adopting cloud, using AI, ML automation, or being a hybrid IT situation. It is a need by the industry. A bank might look at it from a branch point of view. For manufacturing, it is more from the shop floor. Today, people are talking about smart factory. Beyond the SCM and the super logistics or a FICO modules that can be thought through from the SAP, and it is going beyond. So how it is becoming an industry-led services is becoming more relevant. And the last one is about invisible services. Like today, managed security services is a very important part because it is resiliency which is needed for the health and screen of the organization and the compliance point of view, but it is invisible. It is always getting monitored while we are working in organization. And then digital workplace and collaboration is very important because it's a hybrid way of working today. It's not only it's work from home or work from anywhere. It's also sometimes that some decisions need to be taken in the shop floor, which has to reach through an ERP to the logistics of the warehouse or the front end point of view. So how that end-to-end process is not interrupted, but at the same time can be near real time and automated. And obviously, if the core is getting upgraded, the edge needs to be intelligent. So the same experience can be passed through that. And especially in today's world, in the manufacturing side, that's what is getting discussed as edge line services or OT services, be it on cloud, be it on edge line cloud services. And that's how the entire gamut is. So that's how Sify believes. They believes in application modernization strategy with customers on the intelligent point of view. They believes to be a partner who can give infrastructure services, application services, along with partners like Google and hybrid cloud point of view with their Sify's own Sify Cloud Infinite to be industry-led. And obviously help with the skill sets and the resources and the experience that we carry being an ISP, being a data center provider or a cloud provider by ourselves. And now we also have our compliance and governance team, which helps your invisible request or invisible services to be seamless. With that, the reach that we carry with our 3,000 POPs over 1,600 cities, each of them can help you to gain the edge line data center services to make your plants or make maybe your remote location sites to be connected centrally and create an innovation at edge and modernization at the core. So that's how Sify, as an end-to-end cloud partner or a service partner, enables the digital services. And if I double click that, the very important aspect is that there is an infrastructure part of it for which anybody needs to be digital IT. There is a managed services part of it which needs to be done digitally to give you operational efficiency. And then there are core digital aspects of it which is directly related to the industry-led, correct? So if you start on the left, that the infrastructure which is going to enable the foundation for digital IT, that's where our data center come into picture for all the 11 data centers with 500 megawatt of capacity, where people comes and host and build their digital footprints, and we help them with the right facilities, the right requirement, the right compliance to grow. If somebody wants to go on a private cloud model or a hyperscale model like our partner with our partner like Google, we definitely help them as a service partner there and try to host into the platform, take it forward. We have some specialized solutions on the AI platform point of view, which starts with the GPU as a service, or sometimes it's use case led. It can be as low as a data lake, which is only with some marketing initiatives, and that's where we recently with Google have one of the largest media houses in the country, where we are launching together the OTT play, while they were one of the largest, and if not, they were the largest print media organization. So these are some of the experience which has helped us to build these solutions along with our partners like Google, right? And that's where we focused majorly the infrastructure and facility side. Then comes the network, because connectivity is most important. If you have everything in core, but you are not on the connectivity, the experience is the key, right? It goes down. So we look at the network point of view through our on-demand, network services, hyperscale and interconnects, then edge connects, which I was talking to about some time back on the edge line services. Then the security aspect of it, how it can be zero trust, how the SAP piece is coming into picture. Are you a cloud enabler? Is Gatsby taken? If you want to use your core applications from anywhere, is ZTN is in place? And SD-WAN is continuously helping you in your customer experience and optimization of the WAN. So that's the first pillar of the Sify 4.0, which we focus. First, to understand you as an organization and where you want to go as a digital footprint, right? And that's where we first make the foundation strong. Once the foundation is strong, management of that operations is very important. And that's why we break the managed services into majorly first three sides. First is the IT operations point of view. Second is the network managed services point of view. And third, how secure both IT and network we are making. Because if that part of the IT services we don't make efficient, if our service management, service assurance platforms are not making your operational efficiency high, which is not giving you better MTTR or productivity, then a dream of using multi-cloud through the cloud management platform, taking the app into the next level of modernization, and then using the full stack observability to bring down your RCA, which will give you the next step towards making a digital IT, will get a pause or a halt. And that's where in managed services, which is digitized for us, we focused on the first as is, or the BAU, what we call, and then gradually brings the transformation as a partner, as a journey with you. That's the middle layer, and that's the most important layer after we create the foundation along with. The last layer where Sify has changed in at least, I will say, last 6-7 years is the core digital initiatives they are taking. We understand that while there are people tend to think digitization more from industry services on a SaaS model or beyond that, which our partners like Google are far ahead, and that's where the partnership will lead us. But to support that, there are certain things need to be looked at, which is very important. Like today, if you're going on a digital journey, how is your digital asset management platform is coming into play? How your marketing initiatives or productivity of your marketing initiatives is taken care of? How the cost of the marketing initiatives are getting tracked? So digital asset management, like IT asset management, has become very important. And we have jointly seen with our partner Google, with one of the biggest media house that I was talking, how important it has held the play. Intelligent Retail Management Platform, the largest FMCG company in the country today, their entire distribution management system runs on this particular platform. And this is an area where we are again collaborating with Google as a service provider. Okay. Then we are definitely working with the Big Insights or the Google Insights story, where we are trying to merge it with our AR/VR play, which is more focused on e-learnings, which is more focused of customized learning platforms or training platforms for certain industries. And obviously, we are focusing there how we can use the insights with Google around it. And lastly, the the assessment platform. It is very important because the need of the hour is not only getting digitized, the enablers towards the digital world that you will be taking the step, how the assessments are continuously happening and the progress is coming in picture, so that any gaps or any need that is getting identified is digital is a process. It cannot be told that I have taken something digitally and that is good. Otherwise, the old days of Casio watches would have been not what we use as Apple watch today, right? And it was also digitized. Apple is also digitized. Yes, it has become smarter and intelligent. So that's why we more focus on the assessment point of view and take this journey. So this is how, while we had the portfolio which I showed as a universe, which is intelligent application, industry-led services, and invisible security. But this is the enablers, the foundations that we go to market. We try to be partnered with our clients and bring the right partnerships, like partners like Google, and we try to be the most value-led discussion and value-led partner for our clients. On that context, for today's discussion, I think SAP or ERP modernization becomes a very important role to play. Correct. So if we can move to the next slide. Before I move to that, first thing we always keep in mind as an organization that even we are into a B2B business, but at the end of the day, it's consumerization. The person, the media company I spoke about, the steel organization, one of the largest steel organization I'll speak about in some time along with Shivam, who has taken their SAP journey on Google platform, which we migrated and managing right now for last 2 years. But at the end of the day, their end customers are a consumer. So even if we are going to a B2B, we are basically a B2B2C. So our lens of any services is a consumerization lens, and our business interactions are like that. So we talk about what services we can give to enable your user. We talk about what services we bring you to empower your user. We talk about how we can make your user more enchanting, enriching, and encouraging towards all of this, because this is all what it makes a CSAT. And today's CSAT is the most important factor, be it you call it as customer excellence, you call it as customer satisfaction, it all hits the NPS, and NPS hits the shares. And that's where the business is lying, right? So market acquisition way, or keeping the CSAT and moving in a vertical growth rather than looking at horizontal sometimes. This is how the business discussions has become, and this is how we are trying to be relevant with our partners into your day-to-day need and personalization. How we are so close. And the right-hand side, which talks about Google services, the left-hand side, which talks about Sify services, right? And it is a self-explanatory slide. I don't need to go on and tell it, right? When it comes to DC and cloud strategy, it's a different discussion. If it is a primary on Google, how we can bring BCP through our estates, our data centers, right? Beyond that, if it is end-to-end on Google, be it DC and DR, how we manage it. So that's the basic foundation discussion. When it comes to app migration and modernization, today's discussion is on SAP, but if you look at non-SAP also, the kind of modernization, the containerization point of view, re-platform, re-hosting point of view, that we work with Google and we bring up a point of view that how much will be microservices led, how much legacy needs to be modernized first, so that efficiency first hit into the application point of view. Is there an upgrade of SAP that needs to be done? How that architecture can be taken and migrated as fast as to the Google platform. So that's the entire services point of view we built it there. Security, Google will give all the world-class security controls of the solutions from the marketplace across the cloud. But beyond that, if somebody wants to have a SOC, which will not only take care of the workloads which is in Google, but at the same time, the non-SAP workloads or the non-core workloads which needs to be continuously monitored and run as a SOC, That's where we go and position our SOC with the complementary services from Google. Customer experience. I think no other organization, in the earth who focuses majorly on the customer experiences rather than Google, right? They innovate continuously on the AI, ML, and the data analytics, and we all know APG, how it is, how important is becoming that particular services and solutions for. And if we bring the automation, chatbots, digital workflows, or digital asset management along with it, along with the the entire service management layer automated, it's a different experience that we build together, right? Innovation at a core, it is industry-led discussion. Again, in manufacturing, it is a CPG, it's a different discussion. Retail is a different discussion. So that's where our experience for last 3 decades helps us to attend the right SMEs who can discuss the architecture level along with Google to build the right architecture. So those industry-led services can be jointly brought in. This is workplace modernization, which will workplace or book services that they believe in. We have worked together several cases in the country, especially in manufacturing, and also one of the largest PSU, where we became the migration or the implementation and managed services partner to take it forward. So the alignment, if you look at, it has got all the Google's portfolio where we can align as sometimes as a service partner, sometimes as a hosting partner, sometimes as a connecting partner, sometimes as a security partner, sometimes as a system integrator. So it's very rare. This partnership is just beyond what we call it as a premier partnership, while we take the respect and we take the honor to be part of that partnership with Google. So let's bring up to the topic finally, that SAP transformation, and it's a very interesting discussion, and I get a lot of kick in discussing about it. See, today, what is happening is very simple in manufacturing. The discussion is about modernizing the core and making the edge intelligent. Okay, if this can be done, how the journey should be, and if you see in this particular point of view, we believe as an organization there are 3 types of optional engagement that we get in our discussion. One is a simple database lift and shift to any cloud, and especially looking at the size from an infrastructure service point of view, or database as a service point of view, or a HANA upgrade, or whatever you call it. The second one is a real transformation where beyond the database, where you start taking the functional modules. And it can be both greenfield and brownfield for me, where some of the modules are there which you are adding up, or sometimes the discussion it is that we are building greenfield now since we have taken the HANA upgrade. The last one is the digital motion, and this is the most important motion because that's where the value add of a multi-year SAP transformation comes out, with especially partners like us and Google, where beyond the foundation of HANA upgrade, then bringing the functional modules into play, how the reality of the modernization of the core moving towards the edge. And if you look at analytics as a service, IoT as a service, including the security, be it OT network and the ERP application security, and the overall integration piece, if this ABC is attended, then exactly at the start of the call, what I said, that upgrade the core, modernize the core, and connect the edge and make it efficient is what we reach. So for us, a SAP transformation or management project is like that, and that's where we divide us into 2 parts, which can be holistically also looked at. One way we come as a cloud infrastructure service partner. Another way we come as a SAP functional technical service partner, right? And that's the beauty of Sify today. Today, we can be your application migration partner, we can be your basis support partner, we can be your BI services partner, and at the same time, we can migrate you not only on the application side, but also on the cloud infrastructure, on Google or any other cloud that you want to be, and manage it further with our management tools and all the intelligent ways, right? And that's how, if you go to the next slide, it basically gives you how you should be a partner with us for your SAP transformation. You can be pointed, you want to be holistic, it can be both. one of the largest steel companies in the country today. They have chosen us for the 53 group companies, not only the migration towards public cloud and managing that, their DR runs on our cloud that which we manage, but we also give some of the, out of the 53 7 group companies, we do the application managed services along with our basis support and also our BI services. What it means, what we are trying to say is that even if you choose us as the infrastructure player for your cloud migration and managed support services for the SAP, we have the COE where we have the basis support and we have invested in the BI services. We have the knowledge if something goes wrong today, tomorrow, we just not restricted about supporting you up to the infrastructure layer. If it needs that, we need to scale up and support you more beyond what we have contracted. And that's the scalability Sify gives. That's the flexibility Sify brings with the right investments we have done on this particular transformation. So on that mode, if I move forward, this is what is Sify today as we speak. You can think about a carve-out project. You can think about application management project. You can think about upgrading to HANA and then entire implementation rollout services end-to-end pointed. We are open to work with our partners like Google, who comes mostly from the cloud point of view. Today, we have 150 plus numbers of SAP customers, and obviously our business experience is very rich. And we have created a COE. And beyond this business experience, we also have the BI experience. And that's why one of the largest conglomerate today was a global conglomerate, while it is headquartered out of India, globally has taken the SAP transformation on Google Cloud Platform 2 years back, and which we are managing. So that brings to me to the next slide, which basically talks about our migration. It is about, it might be known to you, all of you, but I just a check that it can be on-premise hosted to Google Cloud, it can be other provider to Google Cloud, it can be in upgrades that will happen along with the DR setup needs to be done. This end-to-end game, the end-to-end skill set, the end-to-end resources, the end-to-end certification, the end-to-end experiences which we are trying to say in the below box is available today with us. And that's why most of the third-party analysts depends and have chosen us to write the spotlights for the hybrid IT adoption. And this is a very important slide. I think this is very, very important. You can be using any of the cloud services on the right. And with our partnership with Google, if we are taking one of those initiatives on Google Cloud, but you might be using some other multi-cloud, we can give you not only a cloud management platform, which is multi-cloud which enables to manage the cloud estate. It can be multiple also. It can give you a seamless unified dashboard. It can make the automation unified across all the multi-cloud. The most important part today is the FinOps part, which we have built within this platform, which continuously controls and doesn't give you a bill shock going forward. So it runs, understand the patterns and the visibility that we get as a report, where we are not restricted just up to the VM levels, which other tools generally tends to. We go up to the CPU, memory, network, because if you're doing a capacity planning, if you're just thinking that VM is idle and you're going for a capacity upgrade and you go then and see that the network is not capable enough because it needs an upgrade, that's a wrong. But if you know from day one that even if the VM is idle, but your CPU memory space is there, your network space is there or not, the security elements can take, whatever security elements you have today, those can take the extended instances or not. If you don't have that view, your capacity planning might not be right. And that's the first thing this particular tool brings in. Second thing, from this learning of the visibility, our FinOps runs on it and tells you what are the checks that we should take care, which will help your cloud cost control in place. And I think that is the most important thing today, so that we don't get into a bill shock discussion and talking about repatriation discussion. And that's where this kind of tool with the partnership with intelligent cloud platform like Google works together very well, where we not only unleash customers or clients like you who can use Google, consume more, and get the intelligence of that cloud and the effects and the efficiency. But at the same time, with this FinOps or the management visibility, you are always bound to be in the right budgeted consumption model. rather than in a build-shop model. So that's the Gen 5 multi-cloud management platform which we have built. And it has really helped us in the last 3 years to take the market at least to 2x growth that we have taken. Yeah, let's go. That's bring to my friend. I've taken a lot of time, Shivam. So over to you.
Thank you, Anitosh, for so comprehensively talking about Sify. Even though we've been partners, I also discovered quite a few new things today from your talk. Let me quickly dive into the SAP world and how Google is playing its part in terms of hosting SAP as a workload. Just to give you a quick overview about Google Cloud. Google Cloud is nothing but the infrastructure and backbone which Google laid out for its own properties, consumer applications like a YouTube or a Google Map, right? So these lines which you see across the map, they are actually representing the undersea cables which Google laid, representing the internet backbone. And this is what we package and offer to our customers when they consider Google Cloud. Just to talk about Google Cloud, we are the fastest growing part within Google globally today. If you see at the bottom left, in last 5 years, Google Cloud has grown from a $5 billion company to $36 billion company. So almost 6-7 times in last 5 years. We have totally 39 cloud regions across the world, out of which we have 2 regions in India, in Mumbai and Delhi. These are in different seismic zones. And you can see that our customers can have full data residency in terms of DC and DR within the Indian borders. Next slide, please. So as I said, Google came late to the party, but we have really invested ahead of the curve. We have invested in 2 different regions in different seismic zones, in Delhi and Bombay. And both these regions, both these data centers are MITRE certified. We also have 3 zones within each region. And very importantly, we are the only cloud in India to be hosting SAP BTP, which is Business Technology Platform, within the Indian borders. No other cloud hosts BTP within India. So that is a big differentiator for Google, allowing for data residency within the Indian borders. Next slide, please. All right, let's talk about SAP transformations that have happened on Google Cloud. Just to give you a view of the partial customer list, we have the who's who of this country on Google Cloud. If you can go back to the slide. No, go back to the customer logos. Yeah, one more slide. Yeah, so if you see at the first row, you will see that the biggest and the largest of SAP installations in this country are on Google Cloud. You will also see the most complicated, complex conglomerates like Mahindra or Asian Paints, Vedanta, Adani, etc., running on Google Cloud. Apart from top customers, you will also see a big volume of mid-market customers cutting across different industries, also running SAP on Google Cloud. In fact, Google was the #1 cloud provider for SAP RISE in India in 2022 and 23. Next slide, please. Next one. So when we talk about Google Cloud for SAP, we like to talk about 3 different pillars where Google Cloud can support SAP. The first is in terms of infrastructure hosting. We can support both the RISE model or the direct hosting model for SAP. Once the SAP hosting is done, we can also support customers in the second pillar, which is unifying their end-to-end data within the entire organization, whether it is SAP data or non-SAP enterprise data. And the last pillar where we can help customers is that once the data foundation is established, we can also help our customers with AI and ML use cases, whether it is predictive AI or it is the more fashionable generative AI use cases today. Google is the only cloud provider who can help you across all these three pillars. We are not just talking about simple, plain vanilla hosting of SAP on infrastructure. We are talking about hosting of SAP on infrastructure, then combining SAP and non-SAP data, and then performing AI ML on top of it to get insights that customers need. So that is the end-to-end value proposition for Google Cloud. Next slide, please. Also, as I explained in our previous slide, we are the only cloud to be hosting SAP BTP in India. Now, SAP customers know that, as per the latest SAP thought process, they want to keep the core clean, as Anitosh also mentioned, and any extensions, any customizations they would want to do in a different PaaS layer, which is called as the SAP BTP layer. Now, any SAP installation which is happening today in the country consists of RISE as well as BTP components. And therefore, it is very important to have the ability to host BTP as well as RISE within India next to each other. So that is what Google's unique value proposition is all about. Next slide, please. So as you can see in the map on the bottom left, both RISE and BTP can be hosted within the same Google data center within India, right? Next slide, please. However, if you were to be on some other cloud, you would have to host SAP within India and BTP is only available outside India. That would result in latency, egress, and security risks, etc. So this is a unique proposition of BTP being available in India, which Indian customers are really, preferring, and that this is one of the main reasons why Google is being preferred across the market. Next slide, please. Okay, moving to the next big differentiation of Google Cloud is in terms of data partnership. So SAP has announced an exclusive data partnership with Google Cloud, wherein all the SAP data will be sourced from SAP applications like ERP or HR or CRM, and will be hosted in SAP data center, DataSphere, and all the non-SAP data will be exclusively hosted on Google BigQuery, which is our data lake platform. And SAP and Google Cloud have jointly launched a bi-directional connector, which is shown in between these two blocks. This is a bi-directional, fully approved, compliant connector, which allows you to have federation across these two data estates. You don't need to copy or move your data from one place to another. This connector is near real time, and therefore it really solves a long time industry problem of bringing SAP data out of SAP in near real time and combining it with non-SAP data. Next slide. Also, Google is supporting Indian customers who are adopting SAP by launching a commercial incentive program. We all know that SAP projects involve a large outflow, an upfront outflow of significant cash, significant investment. And therefore, Google has launched its rebate program, wherein we offer cash directly wire transferred to the organization's bank account if they choose Google Cloud for hosting their SAP. So this helps. This is very popular with the CFOs and CIOs. This definitely helps in mitigating the huge cash outflow that happens upfront in any SAP project. Next slide, please. So to bring it all together, in summary, there are three ways in which Google Cloud is working with SAP customers. The first is whether it is RISE or non-RISE, whether you decide to host directly with Google Cloud or through RISE model, we can support you throughout the journey. The second, as I mentioned, is in unifying your data, bringing your data outside of SAP in near real time, or bringing your data from any other source, whether it is Salesforce or Facebook or Google Ads or weather data set, any source of data you can combine with each other. And lastly, as I mentioned, the flavor of the season is in terms of AI, generative AI, etc., and merging it with SAP so that customers can talk to their SAP systems in simple English through plain instructions rather than depending upon complicated reports to be generated for them to make sense out of it. So that is, in summary, what is Google's value proposition for SAP customers. Over to you, Anitosh.
I think it's amazing. It's amazing. Thanks, Shivam. I think it's amazing the way you said that it doesn't matter what is the model you're going for. It's most important is for the future, what is the intelligence you can build. Secondly, the other services that you can bring in, which can help to move beyond their core or modernization into the peripheral side. I think that's the takeaway. That's great. So, and that is exactly what brings us to the last slide, which was a reference case study, which we thought of bringing in. And if you can bring that slide up, please. Yeah. So as we were telling, and it is one of the largest reference case study when it comes to a leading steel and mining company, which is a global conglomerate, but it's headquartered in India today. We started this journey together when this organization has already taken a ECC point of view to one of the cloud service provider at that time. And both of us joined hands where we did the assessment, we understood the report generated by SAP, and we were working with that time consulting partner who was architecting not only the SAP need, but also their product was getting redefined. And for any steel and mining company, the product SKU codes is very important because it goes to the plant and the entire process and SOP is built from scratch from the shop floor to the machine, to the outcome, to the warehouse, to the logistics, to the SCM, and then it start going to the warehouse, to the front end point of view. So it's a very complex when it comes to SAP, even a brownfield project rather than a greenfield, when such products codes are changing. And any steel company, it can't have only one type of product. It has got short, long, triangular or angular, products which is in the need of the hour for certain constructions, sheets which they come on. So it is a very complex screw coding that was happening, and since that has to happen, and each of the products had its own latency or the TAT to go to market, and the production accordingly has to happen in certain part of the day. The plants, there were 83 plants. The main plants is a center one, which is west of Gujarat. The important need was the right architecting of the application portfolio and the SAP functions that needs to be mapped, along with the infrastructure, not only by the size of the petabyte or terabyte that is required for the database. The most important part was for this particular journey with this organization was that what is the intelligence layer we will be building beyond just their upgrading on SAP, okay, and how the SKU codes of their different product lines are putting the SOP right in place in the core system, so that the automation they can only focus on the automation on the shop floor, and it can bring out the right outcome for the front ending business. And it worked so good that both of us together we migrated this we took this humongous challenge first to bring them from one cloud partner and by migrating to the Google as a service provider, and also taking care of this particular aspects which I discussed, to bring the benefits and taking out the challenges what they were into, which is visible in your screen, to make them win the S award this year. So now it is public. They won the SAP S award, and it is the largest migration in the fastest timeline, looking at the number of SAP instances and the different types of SAP instances for the different products that was taken over. So I don't want to go in details. We can share this particular slide or the details with each one of you, whoever is interested for the new journey towards SAP. But this is one of the reference case studies which we did for both of us. It's a very it's a very honorable engagement, and it was a very learning engagement also, carving out from a one service provider, migrating it. It was not so easy as the way the 4 blocks are coming. I know how it has got into it. And finally, we have worked together. We had to go through a pilot phase. We won the pilot phase. Then we had to go through a lot of things. And then finally, we won this together. And it was a huge success. So the takeaway after the last slide is very simple, is the engineering brain and mindset that Sify brings with the passion, because all our so I keep on telling 1995 we got birth, but no other ISP today who were at 1995 exists. So being one of the oldest organization in India with the youngest mindset that we are bringing, because that's our engineering DNA brings it, with the intelligence and the continuous improvement or the efficiencies solutions that Google enables, I think that partnership takes us to a different league. So on that note, I will leave to Shivam to say something, and we will be open to have more discussions.
No, I think this is a great partnership, and the customers can really address all their areas of interest just by partnering with Sify along with Google Cloud. Whether it is networking, whether it is security or infrastructure or any SAP expertise, I would definitely say that Sify and Google combination can prove to be a great partner for customers in their journey of SAP transformation.
Perfect. Thank you, Anitosh. Thank you, Shivam. Before we move to the fireside chat, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So before we move on to the fireside chat, I want my team to display the QR code slide that is there for the poll questions. So the slide will be on for a little longer now. You can scan the code and then you will get the form. You can fill in your answers. We look forward to more insights from you. And the winner will be given an Amazon voucher. You might have heard the presentation. We will also get in few more insights from Anitosh and Shivam. You can drop in your questions in the comment box. That way, post the fireside, I will put Shivam and Anitosh in the line of fire and ask them these questions.
Don't worry. I have my partner who is like a fire brigade.
Yes, Anitosh, I know. And Shivam and you are prepared, so you'd be best placed to take these questions ahead. But before that, I have my own set of questions, so I'll pose that. But another reminder to my team to display the slide for a little longer of the QR code. The audience can scan the QR code and you will get the form of questions. You can answer the correct answer and the winner will take away an Amazon voucher. Perfect. So Anitosh and Shivam, let's begin the fireside. And my first question is to Anitosh. What unique capabilities does Sify bring to table in terms of SAP migration, and what specific challenges of enterprises does this address?
See, as I was telling people like us who predominantly was a telecom player or an internet service provider and a hosting player, mostly known as ICT or infrastructure consulting, SI point of view, right? With the strength of that, if you build the basis support and the BI functionality understanding, and if you have the right COE for such kind of applications, be it SAP, any other ERP or CRM point of view, which is the core of any manufacturing point of view, that differentiates anybody from the legacy thing that people used to look at, right? And that's how we are modernized. Because when we go and discuss app modernization, if you don't understand app modernization beyond infrastructure modernization, and if you don't have the right expertise or resources in-house, which is continuously part of our excellence program, and it gives you a learning, and that gives you the right innovation to go and discuss and get into the modernization. I think that is a differentiation we have brought in with these investments of creating a COE, SAP COE. Second, the entire basis team that you have created is a huge base of basis team that we have today. And thirdly, beyond basis, we have created BI functionality resources, which is a very unique for any cloud service provider or a managed service provider to build who doesn't known to be beyond application. And beyond this, if you are going to a cloud, you need to connect. You have to have a much lesser latency to connect that, be it the core or the non-core. If you have to be migrated to the cloud, you need to have the right architecture, right security in place. If you look at now holistically, I think we're the best suited SI for or a service provider for you to be looked at, who has core foundations, who has service foundations, and who has partnership foundations. So that makes us different.
So, Anitosh, how do you then ensure that customers can maximize the benefits of SAP on Google Cloud when it comes to SAP optimization?
See, more than optimization, what I will call it out first, and that's for any discussion I do in any panels, is that when people think about taking a cloud journey, it has to be very clear. It is first is the model, which model they want to go, and why that model is very good. For me, cloud is beyond technology, is first a delivery model. Is it an infrastructure service he wants to look at and then host and create his own digital footprints in-house and build it more and keep the product more tied to his heart? Or he wants to outsource as a SaaS model or a PaaS model, okay, and more focused on the insights that he will be getting from his business and how that he can be running on an AI, ML, or analytics point of view and face the best out of, rather than focusing on the operations or the product point of view, getting the more business-oriented inputs and insert and get the right data points for helping the GTM going faster. So it depends on what you want to do, how you want to do it, how you want to play the game, where you want to put the right mind. And same type of organization can have different models. The best part for us is that this is what we have been doing, and this is how we are learning. These are all the learnings that we have done with different industries, right? SAP migration in a steel industry, within steel industry, two steel giants was a learning for us. Then a media company who was coming out from a print media to digital media, how ERP played a very important game, but their digital asset management story was the most important part, along with the ERP. Is a different, while it's the SAP upgrade also. One of the biggest healthcare company or hospital organization today, when they launched their mobile app to help the navigation of the ambulance, how both of us, Google and us, migrated them and made it modernize more on the CRM side of it, was another way of looking at it. So it will, the technology foundations, the platforms might be the same. The customizations, the end-to-end experience that can be built together is very important.
Perfect. So while today organizations are moving towards SAP and cloud, the huge challenge observed is in terms of bill shock. So how do you as Sify mitigate this experience for the customers and in turn make their cloud journey easier?
See, there are three types of customer. One who tend to be taking towards a journey in cloud. Second type of customer who takes has already taken a journey in cloud. And third type of customer who is into cloud modernization. I call it like that, right? People who are getting into a journey in cloud, small footprints have taken. Absolute, that is the time you create your architecture with the right service provider to use it, who has the fundamentals correct. Because we as an organization first look at from our operations, from our migrations. That is the most important part. Even if I migrate properly, and after that the bill shocks start coming, and I don't have an intelligence to tell them that how it will go down, rather than asking my partner Google to sit down and keep giving discounts, it's not a business day for both of us. So that's where, when the slide I discussed about the multi-cloud management platform, where we first help the customers to run the multi-cloud point of view. Within Google, they have multiple clouds. They have GCP. They have GMP. The marketing initiatives can all work on GMP. They have he has shown the visualization layer, the Google Insights point of view. Then if you wanted to have industry-led solutions, they can have those services. It has got different feeds, different types of cloud. Then with that, if you want to take the compliance and DR cloud on a fixed workload like Sify Cloud Infinites, which sits in the nearest latency with Google Cloud today, it becomes a multi-cloud estate. It doesn't matter; it has to be multiple cloud provider. It can be a multi-cloud estate with different layers. It can be one can be IaaS, one can be PaaS, can be SaaS. That's where we come and play the game of managing it. Or somebody is taken Google, but he is also moving into AWS or some other cloud providers, and they want, a seamless management. That's where our cloud management play comes. And that management cloud platform, when it gives you the visibility of your usage pattern, that intelligence we are putting into the FinOps, which is an AI ML engine, which tells that what needs to be done in what instances so that their cloud budget can be taken care of and the cost doesn't go on a bill shopping model. So that's where we as an organization, as a service provider, more keen to be a service partner to help navigate our customers to take as much benefits of the cloud consumption, rather than thinking, oh, cloud is good, what if I consume more, I might have to pay more. So the innovation then start stopping, and you think about more saving and all those fear in the picture.
Thank you, Anitosh. I'll come back to a couple more questions on the advantages that you have with this collaboration. But before I bring that in, I'd like to bring Shivam in and ask him, what are the key advantages or unique features of Google Cloud that make it an ideal platform for SAP migration? And how do you support enterprises in achieving their SAP-related objectives?
Yeah, sure, Vaishnavi. I think for any SAP, any customer who's embarking on a SAP journey, two things are very important. The first is robustness or uptime, and the second is costing. Now, if you look at Google Cloud, we are the only ones who have invested in undersea cables, and therefore our network across the world on which the traffic flows is really the most performant network, resulting in better speed, better uptime, better robustness, etc. We support both RISE as well as non-RISE models. Therefore, we are not wedded to any particular model of SAP. We can support and meet the customers in their journey wherever they are, right? As I also mentioned, we are the only cloud who provide BTP availability within India. Now, this is really important to a lot of customers, especially in regulated industries like BFSI or government. These are industry verticals where customers demand that their entire data should stay within Indian borders, and therefore Google's ability to locate both ERP as well as BTP within Indian borders is really a unique offering. We have custom machines, we have virtual machines of all sizes, right? We could start from something as low as 256 GB and go as high as 24 terabyte for hosting SAP HANA workloads, right? We also have technologies like live migration, which do not allow the customer sessions to be broken, even if there is a underlying post maintenance activity which is going on. So your SAP keeps on running. There is no need of any planned downtimes with Google Cloud. And lastly, as I mentioned, we also provide customers with very, very attractive commercial incentives to mitigate their outflow during the initial few months of the SAP projects. So I would say those are two broad areas, robustness and cost, in which Google helps our customers.
So my next question is exactly that. So thank you for giving me a segue. Robust infrastructure for SAP on cloud is a cornerstone of what you're offering. Could you provide some insights into the collaboration with Google Cloud and Sify specifically regarding the SAP solutions?
Yeah, sure. I think Anitosh presented a wonderful slide which really captured the end-to-end value proposition. But if I have to just summarize that, I would say that Google and Sify, we have our partnerships at multiple levels, right? Of course, Sify enjoys the highest level of premium partnership that is available with Google. I would also, go out and say that Google's data center and Sify's data centers are very closely coordinated and collaborated. Together, we can offer less than 2 milliseconds of latency. And therefore, any customers who want to go for a hybrid scenario or who want to host a mission critical workload, or they want to host certain parts of applications with Sify in their own data center and certain other parts of their workload with Google on a public cloud, they can do that seamlessly with Sify. Sify also has invested in a wonderful SAP Center of Excellence, where apart from infrastructure, they can also help the clients with basis services, AMS services, etc. And any SAP deployment actually requires a lot of connectivity considerations, whether customer wants to go on MPLS or they want to use interconnects or any VPNs. I think Sify's legacy of connectivity and coming from that background really helps them, helps a SAP customer end to end. So I think we are very closely aligned. And lastly, I also know that Sify and Google are together working on creating their own IPs also, their own assets, which they will position jointly to the customer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shivam, I need a quick insight on this. When it comes to digital services like generative AI and advanced analytics, how can Google's SAP customers leverage these technologies and what would be their business impact?
Yes, that's a great question. I think every other customer I go to, everybody keeps on asking us about generative AI, and this is really a board level agenda for a lot of our customers. And we have been infusing AI in all our products, in all our solutions, whether it is Google Mail or it is Google Cloud. We are covering both predictive as well as generative AI scenarios. And we have already launched quite a few use cases around generative AI for SAP. Uh, One of the big pain points for traditional customers was that their top management was not very conversant with running transaction codes or generating reports on their own. But with generative AI, they can talk to their SAP system in simple, plain English, like show me my top 5 suppliers, or what has been the rate of delivery or on time and in full delivery for my suppliers, or which supplier has a stock out situation. So in simple English, the top management can talk to their SAP system, and this is being enabled through generative AI. And this is really a very unique proposition, Vaishnavi. Google is perhaps the only cloud provider who has this ability to combine infrastructure, data, and then generative AI, and therefore allow this capability to talk to their SAP systems. This is really, really going to spread and increase the aware of the usage of SAP systems amongst not so tech savvy users as well.
Perfect. So, what are some of the key differentiators you would say, Shivam, of Google Cloud as a platform as compared to other hyperscalers?
As compared to other hyperscalers, I would say the biggest differentiator is that Google Cloud is part of a larger one Google family. We are not just a box pusher or a box seller. In fact, with Google, when you choose or partner with Google Cloud, you can also benefit from Google's other properties like Google Maps, Google Workspace, Google Ads, Google Search, etc. Secondly, compared to other hyperscalers, I would say Google has traditionally been a data company, right? Our mission is to organize world's data and information. And therefore, uh, when it comes to data and I think Google is very, very uniquely positioned to make sense of the vast sprawl of data that customers have and then organize it and get insights out of those. Also, I would say that we have a very, very strategic, most closely aligned partnership with SAP. Now, if I tell you that SAP S/4HANA product, which is their latest offering, is tested and developed only on Google Cloud first, right? That is the level of partnership. We do not compete with SAP in any way. In fact, SAP's mid-market offering called Grow with SAP is exclusively launched with Google Cloud in India, right? And last differentiation compared to other hyperscalers is again BTP, Business Technology Platform, wherein Google is the only cloud provider in India. So these are some of the top 3-4 differentiators for Google compared to other hyperscalers.
Thank you, Shivam. Anirush, I would like to hear from you. What is the key value proposition and differentiators that Sify along with Google Cloud bring the
I think most of the points Shivam has already touched upon. The most important part is that today, in Indian context of technology growth with customer experience, hybrid IT is going to be the most important part. So first, in hybrid IT, any core modernization or core automation that is going to happen, uh, you might not be 100% on cloud. At the same time, most of the estate will be on cloud. Some of the things you will be on not on cloud. So that hybrid architecture, I think this is the best partnership that can happen. Nobody can have the partnership like this. Like the way when he is talking about SAP's partnership with Google, I think Sify's partnership with Google on creating the hybrid IT core is unmatchable. That's number one. Number two, the initiatives that Google is taking on connecting as a beyond the cloud service provider, how they're basically connecting globally. Okay, Sify is also part of it along with Google, and we are having a joint lot of initiatives which Shivam touched upon, which you will come and see. So basically, it's a partnership which brings together just not a pointed solution. It is a solution which helps you to first create a foundation for tomorrow, and then it is a partnership which creates an innovation which will help you to achieve that dream of tomorrow. I look at it from that way. And obviously, from the GTM point of view, our success stories is majorly into manufacturing with them, along with healthcare, life sciences, and also now we have tested in retail also.
And
So,
media.
sorry,
Media.
media also, and media was a large one. So thanks for reminding me. It's one of the largest we did. I think we might have started because Google came obviously last into this hyperscaler business. We might have started much later with others which we started earlier. But today, the kind of experiences that we have gathered on the industry level, by the industry, for the industry, along with their services, I think it was amazing. So one is foundation laying capability by both the partners taking care of the hybrid IT architecture. Second, beyond connectivity and security, which we do for our living, the innovation of making the transformation of future. I think this is the best partnership that we have. And that's uniqueness, to be very honest. After this, it is all a discussion with all the clients who are hearing us here is a co-creation, because everybody will have their own need. And this is the best two engineering companies can come together and co-create for you.
last question, Anitosh? What can be the key criteria for a CIO to select a partner who can support their SAP and cloud infrastructure?
See, I always say, again, I will go back to the same point that cloud is a delivery model. And if your architecture is not correct, your migration will not be correct, your operations will never be there. So first is the partner who has the capability of assessing your as-is and connecting the KPIs that the IT is taking towards business, so that they not only look at the technology footprints, but look at prioritizing the technology footprints, which gives first IT the right output towards the business. Because SAP, ERP, CRM, whatever you call it, these are all a business need. These are all a business need which is executed by IT. So if you don't create the architecture proper, you don't have the modernization plan proper, you don't have the migration plan proper, then intelligence layer which you want to build, which Shivam showed, can be implemented. But the first three is the most important part. So irrespective if it is Sify or not, the choice should be done by the CIOs and CTOs looking at the first 3 years service provider. And then on the partnership layer, we can build together on low latency cloud platform or a hybrid IT. No other partnerships can build it. Second, the security and the kind of native services that can be utilized through the resource and skill set awareness that we carry along in Google Cloud, that will create the innovation foundation. And lastly, with the edgeline services, the reach of us and the intelligence of Google, the reach of 1,600 cities and the intelligence services of Google together, that creates the edgeline intelligence and that enables the edgeline intelligence. So that's the power. That's the power. And these are the things as an organization, as a CTO should look at if it is the priority they're looking at.
Perfect. Thank you, Anitosh. Thank you, Shivam. These were some wonderful insights we had. You gave some detailed presentation that shows your attention to detail. And as I always say, God is in the details. And thank you for taking time out on this busy week for you. You've been traveling, you've been busy, but you made time for the webinar. We're really thankful. Thank you to the audience for being here with patience. Thank you for being part of this insightful webinar. Your engagement and participation made it a valuable experience. Thank you to the ET team for facilitating this. We appreciate your time and contributions. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Have a nice day.